back to show you how to make the tag book. This is the tag book that I made. So now I'm going to show you how to make one with Marcy Coate's design digital papers, and these ones that I'm using are from the Hydrangea papers. I've printed them double-sided, so there's one page there and one page there. As you can see, they're different designs, but what I realised when I said that I'm going to do a tutorial with Marcy's papers is, of course, there's A4 and I have to cut them down. So I'm going to have to improvise as I go along to actually make the tag book, because I've got to make it with A4 instead of the 12 by 12 which I made the other tag book. But I will show you to begin with how I did actually make the other tag book with 12 by 12 papers. I have the 12 by 12 papers, and then I scored at 6 inches there, and then I scored at 6 inches the other way, and you have to score at 6 inches the other way because you want to do, I'm trying to get this even, everybody, neat freaking me, I want it. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but I scored down this way as well, but this needs to be, I should have scored it after I'd folded it, so I'm going to go in and score it again now that I've folded them. There you go. There, because what you want is a mountain fold and a valley, one mountain fold and 2 valley folds. So I'm going to score it at 3 inches here. There, that's at 3 inches. Then I'm going to score it at the 9 inches there. And remember what I said, that you've got a mountain fold, and the mountain fold is up and the valley fold is, as it says, a valley fold down. So then you will put this one back on itself like that there. Now that's what you'll end up with, like that, and that's how we have it there. Then I'm doing this very quickly actually, because I'm going to go over again with A4 papers, but as I say, I have to work out how to do it with the A4. Right, now what I did along the edge here, I had a punch, and I used a Martha Stewart punch. So I'm going to get Martha Stewart punch. I'll use the same one that I used previous, and you'll open it out and then you'll do the punching. And to make things even, I always start my punching in the middle, and that way you'll get an even pattern at each end. It'll be the same. Right, so that's that side done. Now we're doing the other side. And I go like this, as I said, so that you get a nice middle there, instead of it being halfway through a scallop, or, and you've got it perfect. So most of my punching, if I'm doing edging punching, I will start in the middle. Right, so that's that. Now don't worry if you, like I've got here, you end up with tiny little bits that didn't quite hit the mark. It doesn't matter. Tiny little pair of scissors will actually sort that out there. Well, it would do if I could do it. There you go. And there as well. That's it. Right, let me just get rid of these a minute and put them in the bin. Otherwise, they'll go everywhere because they're so tiny. There you go. It's not the end of the world because I've just put the hoover on it. But, right, that's what we've ended up with now. And then what you'll do, you're going to come with this corner here, and don't forget we've actually got the valley fold here, there. So you'll come down here and don't go right to the edge there, because it's got to fold over, if you remember, and you'll end up catching it. So try and, there you go. If I hold that there and then come down like that. There you go, lovely. So you'll come down like that side. You'll do the same this side, but let's make the crease line a bit better actually. So then you'll come down here like so. So there you go, that's the start of it, and it will be like that. So I'll just reinforce these. Now I will come back to this and put a front and back on, but that's how you start off the tag book. I stitched down here this, there you go, I stitched there and I stitched the other two. So stitch there and stitch there, and then I stitched down these edges here, and I did that so that I didn't have glue everywhere, and I thought the stitching was neater. Right, so that's how you start your book with the 12 by 12, but we're doing it A4, and it isn't even A4 because I'm going to have to take off those white bits. So I'm just going to take off the white bits now. All the papers have been, the white bits have been cut off and they've been cut down. Now I need to get it to a stage like this. Obviously this is longer because this was a 12 by 12. So the length of mine is going to be 11 1/8. I'll put the 11 1/8. I work in both actually, and I've got to hold on. I can tell you what it is in. Right, it's 11 1/8 in inches, and it's actually 29, yep, 29 centimeters across. So 29 centimeters or 11 1/8. That's what mine's been cut down to. Now this obviously is 6 inches there. So what I'm going to have to do again now is cut some off here. So this is 6 inches. and I'm going to have to do it to both papers, because I've realised what I'm going to have to do is stitch these together, but 2 pages together. With this one, it's because it's 12 by 12, it's all in one piece, but this one's going to be in 2 pieces. So I'll just going to cut this down, and that's the that's landscape and a portrait. So it's the landscape way. I'm going to cut it down to 6 inches. So just going to do that now. There we go. They've both been cut down to the 6 inches. Okay, now what I need to do is the folding again, and this is the mountain and the valley folds. So what you're going to do, you're going to fold it in half there, and then you're going to fold it back again there, like that. Oh, it's pretty. I've got a nice butterfly in there. And the other way, you're going to fold it back there, and hopefully it should all match nicely if you've cut it straight. And right, so that's what we have there now, and I'm going to do the same with the other one. But with this one, I'm going to fold the other side so that you've got a different bit of pattern showing. Right, so we've done that. Now we're going to fold it across this way, like this. Again, if you hold the corners like that, they should all, as long as it's cut straight, they should all match nicely. There you go. There you go. There. Now we've got the valley folds there, and the valley folds there, and the mountain here. But we've actually got to now, before I stitch it together, I'm going to do this end here. I just want to see which I want is the pretty. Which do I want as my inside? I think I'll have that one as my inside. Right. I want this one as my inside when you open it, so you can see the butterflies. So this is the edge here that I'm going to do my border punch. I'm going to do a different border punch this time. Instead of the Martha Stewart one, I'm going to do an Anna Griffin one. This is a pretty one as well. So I hope this paper's okay to do it. It's pro paper from Create and Craft, but I don't think I've punched with it yet, but we'll soon find out if it's okay. Oh, it sounds nice. There's a nice crunch to it. Right, because I haven't used this one before, I usually turn it the other way so I can see that I'm lining it up nicely. Let's have a look. That should be it now. There you go. We've got it. Well, good. Yep. There you go. There we go. That's this very pretty decorative edge there. Now the next step is to stitch down the side here, and then stitch there and stitch there. I won't stitch here or fold this until I've done these, because sometimes the paper will move or it'll go out of sync, and then it will be awkward. So I'll leave the end bits until I've stitched it. I've stitched down here, and I've stitched down there, and I've stitched down there. I've folded back the two edges now, there. And when you fold back the two edges, make sure, you can't really see it because it's such a busy pattern paper, but make sure that you don't go right to the edge, because otherwise you'll have difficulties when you actually come to fold it. So I've just kept away from the edge there a fraction. Now, as you can see, it nearly looks the same as this one here, but the only difference now is I have to stitch my bottoms as well as my sides. So I'm just going to stitch down the side here, stitch along the bottom here, and then stitch up the side there, all stitched together. And as you can see, I've made the tags as well. The tags actually are 2.5 inches for this particular one that I'm making here. They're 2.5 inches. Yeah, 2.5 inches there. I think it's 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. So 2.5 inches by 6.5 inches, and that actually gives you a nice tag to put in the 4 pockets there. If you did a, oh, this one, what's this one? Yeah, if you did a 6 by 6, 12 by 12 thing, I think the tags are still the same. They're 2.5 by 6.5. Yeah, so the tags are no different really than the original, so that's okay. So there we go, that's that all done. It's all ready there, and this is ready now to put the grey, to do the grey board fronts. Now all I do for the front is I measure what the front is here, and that is, now this is where I will use centimetres or inches depending on what's a better measurement for me, which is an easier measurement for me. Now that says 7.5 centimetres roughly, and this one says 2 3/4 roughly as well. They're not exact measurements, because when you do yours you might have a bigger border than what I had, or a smaller border, so you just go by instinct really of what you want. But whatever the measurement, you want about an extra 1/4 inch either side, so an extra 1/2 inch that way and an extra 1/2 inch the other way, to give you a little overlap. I think I did, yeah, no, I just did an 1/8 for this one, an 1/8 overlap, so an extra 1/4 inch either, by the looks of it actually. So I'm going to do, anyway, I'm doing it by eye sort of thing, so I'm going to go by 3 inches, 3 inches by 6 and 1/8. Yeah, I'm going to try 3 inches by 6 1/8 for my grey board cover. Right, happy with those measurements because that gives me a little overlap. That side, I'll take the tags out and then you can see. But that gives me, where we go, there we go. That gives me a little overlap there of the grey board. Not very much because you don't want very much. So it just nestles inside the grey board nicely. Now we're going to cover the grey board. So I'm going to pick a nice paper that goes with it and I'm going to cover it. Right, I've picked the same paper as the inside the butterflies, and I printed it off a little paler, and then I've used one of Marcy's Blendables. She actually has some PNG images, and what you can do with the PNG images is import them onto your A4 paper, and they can either sit on top of the pattern you've got there or they can sit behind. The thing is that because they're PNG, they're on a transparency background, which means that they'll blend into your paper nicely. So I'm going to use this image here. I'm going to leave a link down below of which Blendable it is, because off my head I can't remember, but I'll leave you that link later, and you'll see I just like lady images, Victoriana, but I just like shabby chic as well. So I'm going to cover the front and back grey board now, ready to put on top of my ready to put onto my tag book. I've glued the paper onto the grey board so that she's fairly central. I've scored quite a deep score around the edges, and you just go like that and do it a few times, and you do end up breaking the fibres of the paper so that you can just go round then with an emery board, and you can get a nice shabby chic edge with it. And I like to do that because afterwards I like to use the Jetto. But can you see how I'm getting a nice white distressed looking edge there as well? I'm taking away some of the print from the paper. Now do this fairly gently, don't go at it very hard. You'll get a feel for it the more you do it. So there you go. And it'll just come away fairly easy. And then, as I say, once I've done that all the way round, I do like to go round with Jetto to give it a nice, because you can see the grey edges there, so I don't like that. So I like to see the white edges. But I'm not going to let you see me do all of this because I have 4 sides to do, so I'll come back when I've done them and show you what it looks like. Before I went on to the next step, I thought I'd come and show you that I've finished putting the paper on the front there, but I haven't done the back. Now I put paper on the back here, but I haven't done the back of that. And the reason being, I thought I'd come and show you that don't worry about whatever paper you put on these sides, because it's not going to show anyway, because that's going to be stuck onto the tag book. So don't worry about this. Use a paper that's you can use it draft if you like, print the same paper, do a draft print, as I say, because you're going to waste it otherwise. So that's, I've just come back to tell you that. Now I'm going to go off and do the back now. This is a bit naughty of me. I decided that I wanted to see if I could put some lace around the edge. This one, which I made here, no lace, only a little bit of decorative ribbon there that I put on there. But with this one I thought, I wonder how nice it would be to put lace on the edge, and it really looks lovely. There it is. I've put the tags in just to see that everything was okay, and it is, it looks good. So I'm going to take the tags out now. I didn't show you while I was doing it in case it went wrong, but it hasn't gone wrong. It's worked out really nice actually. So I thought I'd come and show you how to put the lace on. Right, this is the back now. That's all been done. And for the back, I've done the same image, printed it in draft though, and I've downsized the image so she's not so in your face, because she's on the back anyway. I did toy with the idea that maybe it doesn't need lace on the back, but yes, when I opened it I thought it does need lace, definitely. So let's put the lace on and then we'll put the back on. Okay, so all I did was put and I did it with glue, it doesn't matter. I have Fabri-Tac, but to be honest, I have good glues. I think if you work with good glues, you can use virtually anything, you know. I was just too lazy to get the Fabri-Tac out. So this is the first piece of lace going on, and this is quite easy to put this on because it actually corresponds with the that edge corresponds with that edge there. So there's no need to actually think about it. There you go. And you know me, I do like to press things down with my silicone mats, my craft sheets, because any glue that's going to come off on the silicone mat. Do you know what? Oh, there it is. Awful. And I do like to get rid of the glue right away, and then you don't have any mishaps. So that's that side done. That's easy enough. Right, now the next side. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's fine. Before I say yes. And again, this is a Nuvo glue, and this is a good glue as well. The glues I use, it actually depends on what I'm gluing down as to what I use. I do love my art glitter glue. That's another good one, but I use that one just for the fine precision when I have to glue things down that only needs little dots of glue and really in fine places, because the nozzle is brilliant. It's a very, very fine nozzle. There you go, that's all the glue gun done there. Now, before I went any further, I actually trimmed off the edges. When you trim off edges as well, it's best to trim that you can see the edge, and see, this is no good me trimming off this side because I might not get it straight because there's no edge here. But if I turn it round that way, because there's an edge for my scissors to go, it'll always be straight. Just another neat freak of Shirley. Sorry, girls. So that's that bit we've done. That isn't quite there, so a little bit more. I think that's because it's a little bit wet still, so I'll leave that until I've finished. Now we're coming to this bit here, and this piece here, I didn't try and do a mitered corner or anything because too fiddly for what I'm actually doing, but doesn't mean to say that one day I won't do a mitered corner and see how it looks. Trust me to pick a bit of lace up that's all scrunched up, but it doesn't matter, the glue will sort that out. Right, there you go, that's that done. And as I say, I don't mind because I have an edge there and it will show me the edge. There you go. And then you come round and do the other side. And that's the lace on. The lace looks really nice. Another nice glue I use actually is Pin Flare. That's a really nice glue. The bookbinding glue, very nice. So I have, oh, and I like the tacky glue, but they've all got their uses. So I have quite a few of them, and it isn't necessarily what's the first one there. They all have a place on my craft table. There you go. Now that's that one done. Gosh, we've nearly finished this, apart from I want to do all the embellishments and the decorating, and I want to put things on the tabs as well. Right, now this one's a bit trickier because this one in actual fact just needs to be flush here. Like, just needs to be flush there. So I need a smaller pair of scissors. Oh, here they are. Again, I have, like we all do, lots of different scissors, and they've all got different uses. There are some that I really don't like getting glue on, and I wouldn't use for something like this. But then there's others that, like these, they're a lovely pair of scissors, very sharp, but I don't mind if I get glue on them. Right, now this side as well. Let's make sure that's lines up so that, there you go, good. And let's go back in and give it a little trim. Whoops. And can you see that glue is practically dried already on there? If you go like this, I doubt if you'll get any glue on there. I have this onyx weight thing here, and I actually use this if I want to go along and put a little bit of weight on something to make sure that everything is flattened down and the glue has spread out enough. I was given that to a really good friend, Gail. She gave that to me, and it's perfect. And there you go, and there you go. There's no glue on the craft sheet either, so I know that's everything perfect there. Right, so that's how I did the front, and this is the back. Now all you do for the back, again, it's doesn't matter what glue you use, it's your own preference, but again I like this glue because it's a really strong bond glue, and it's good on material and lace, and because it doesn't show through, as long as you don't do huge blobs of it actually, but it doesn't show through onto the material. Very naughty, I wiped the edge of the glue onto whatever top I've got on. Right, now you have to make sure you've got it the right way, which I have. And this is quite easy to put on because all you're doing is lining it up with the one that's on the top. So you just manipulate it. There you go. Do you know what I really should have done as well? You're going to say, oh my goodness, I should have put the lace on and layered it up with the lace on the front so it all matched, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It does to me. But no, not really. The thought about it. Fine. Next time I do it, I will. But this time it doesn't really matter. When I say line up, can you see the scallops? I'd have liked it if the scallops had lined up, but it doesn't matter. Right, now we've got the glue. Let's open it, make sure it does open. And if there's any bits of glue, there you go. Not to worry. And then you put, there you go. And then you glue, which there was glue, will go onto your silicone mat there. Oh, happy bunny with that. Wow, and that's not bad, seeing as we had to work it all out rather than have the easy 12 by 12 and just fold it over and do it. Having to work this out and do it, so that's a very nice, very, very nice. Quite happy with that as well, and especially with the lace. Right, now I'm going to decorate the inside and the outside, but I feel some gesso coming on as well. I might even get some out now and give it a little going over while I'm recording. So let's get the one, I just pick up the nearest one to me, and this was the nearest one, an indigo blue one actually. Gesso's gesso at the end of the day, isn't it? Now I take this from the lid because I'm really only giving a little, because I'm not sure how much I want to put on or how little I want to put on. There you go. And if it's too much, just get your, there you go, baby white and give it a wipe off. There you go. That's quite nice. It's toned down the blue actually, which I quite like. It's not so in your face now, but you don't have to do it. I'm not going to go too far up here. There you go, little baby wipe, just to wipe it off there. Oh, that's much nicer for me now. That's not so, such a vivid blue. That's why I like gesso in. It's no rhyme nor reason of how you do it. And if you do it a bit too heavy-handed, have your baby wipe handy and just wipe it off quickly. There, you can see the blue that it was. Don't know why I'm doing that inside, because it's going to be stuck down. They're a bit more heavy-handed on the corners. It's just like inking, really. Haven't done that for ages either, but here we go. Yep. Now I need to get a little bit along here. There you go. And that's it. There we go. That's really toned it down now. Nice. I'm probably going to do, oh, I'm definitely going to do some on the back. No, I'll carry on for the lid at the moment. There we go. Oh, nice. That's better. That is a lot better. There you go. Right, lovely. I think for the time being that's enough now. I'm going to leave that to dry. I'm just going to give a quick tidy up here. The beauty of gesso, it dries very, very quickly. Put the lid on. I always open the lid and a couple of times before I screw it on, because that way when I come to open it, it won't have stuck. Used to hate that, trying to open a paint lid and it all had all stuck together. It's all right. Oh, I'm looking for my baby white scales because I want to I'm out in my craft chalet at the moment, and I won't have I'm not going in at the moment to wipe my brush, so I'm just going to give this a quick wipe here, and then I'm going to put my brush in it for the time being. There you go, and that's ready to go into the kitchen when I go and give it a wipe. Let me just, while the gesso's drying on the, I'll give this a quick wipe as well. There you go. Right, lovely. There you go. Now that's how it looks at the moment, and I'm really pleased with that. Oops! What have we done here? We've folded that back by mistake. Oh dear. There you go. Done. Right. So that doesn't happen again, I'm going to glue them. Then that's another jobbed. Right. Just give a little bit of glue on the end here. And that way it can go down and it won't fold over again. Just getting another. I have lots of these little pieces of craft mat. I bought a huge one and then I cut it down. There you go. And I cut it down because I didn't want a great big one that fitted all over my craft table, but it's perfect like this. There you go. That's it. All the glue transfers over. Right, I'm not going to close that up at the moment. I'm just going to leave that there until the glue dries. But going to put the tags in because the tags are, I want to embellish the tags, but at the moment I'm not sure what I want to put in there, so I'll just leave them in there until I'm ready to either do some stamping or fussy cut some elements out, because Marcy's Digi Images have got some lovely elements that go with these papers, so I might have an evening where I sit and cut things out. Right, there you go. So that's done. There, that's the front, that's the back. There's the tags in. I'm going to do the holes for the tags. I'm going to put the eyelets in there, put some lace in there as well. But then I'll have embellishments on there. Not sure what, but I'll come back and show you when I have. I've printed off 3 pages of elements that come with the Hydrangea kit. And what I've actually done is I've printed I've picked different pages from the kit, and I've printed 4 to a page to make them smaller so that they'll fit my tag book. But I wasn't sure how small they'd print, so this one here, instead of printing it full size, I've printed 2 things to a page. So that's that one and that one, which is 4 to a page with there. And this one is the size it comes when it's 2 to a page. And then I've printed the elements. This is 1 page and that's another page, but I've printed so that it's 2 to a page to make them smaller. Now what I'm going to do, because to actually blend in more with my shabby chic look, and I gessoed to tone things down, I'm actually going to gesso some of the images to tone them down a bit. And as I said, just if it goes on too thick and you don't want it to, just give it a wipe down. Have a baby wipe handy and give it a wipe down to soften it a bit more. But you can't do much wrong doing it like this. As long as you catch it while it's still wet, it'll just tone it down nicely. There you go. And as I say, I'm only doing this because I like the shabby chic effect. I could have printed it in draft, but I don't think I get the same look that I'm after if I print it in draft either. So just a bit of gesso and I'm happy. There you go. As I say, if it gets a bit too much, just give it a knock back with a baby wipe, and then right, let that dry. Now I'm going to try the, I'm not going to try the one that I printed 2. I'm going to try the one that I printed with 4 to a page. Now I'm going to go a bit easier with this one. This one that I've just done, that's, I could go quite rough with that because that's 200 and I think that's 250 GSM. Well, this is only 120. It's like a copy paper, so I have to take care because it's not as robust as the other one, so I don't want it to get too wet. There you go, that's nice. Not sure I'm going to put the purple on, but I might as well give it some gesso. Can you see? You really should go a bit more gently because it'll just crease up. There you go, I'll come round. I'm not sure what I'm going to cut out yet, but rather than think I'll have that and have to come back and cut it out, I might as well do all of the page. I'm not sure I'm going to put any of the pink on, but we'll see, all the purple. But you don't know until you start doing it, do you? It all just forms a picture when you... There you go. Now I'm not using a normal paintbrush. What I'm using for this is a stencil brush. And I find the stencil brush gives me just what I'm looking for with the brush strokes, as opposed to a paintbrush. Right, yeah, quite happy with the way that looks there. But while I'm at it, I might as well do this one. And again, this isn't printed on a firmer cardstock, it's only printed on like a copy paper type cardstock, so I really have to take care and rub it gently. There you go. It's quite like a dried brushing technique, but I've got more on the brush than I would with dry brushing. And sometimes I don't knock it back, but it depends how I feel. There we go. It's looking quite nice actually now. It's toning down. There you go. Don't want to obscure it completely, but I do want it to be faded more. And while you're at it, see, you can go in and get the rest of it off with your brush. And this is dry brushing now. You've still got some coming off, but not as concentrated as when you first started. There you go. I'm happy with those now. That's enough for me. I've added a few of the elements now that I cut out. Here is the envelope that you saw, and what I actually did was I cut off the flap of the envelope, but I left the sides because that gave me like a tuck inside, so the envelope's got more space in there and it's not flat to the paper. I've got a couple of Marcy's elements in there, but I'm going to put a few more. And here what I actually did was I stuck most of this down, but I with the circle that she had, I cut it out. I just fussy cut with a craft knife, and so that it tucked over. And then these here I put behind, but I've stuck these down because they're so tiny. If you pull them out, they're going to get lost somewhere along the line. So that's how that is. I'm probably going to put a couple of more tags or die cuts or something there, but I'm not sure. This is when it's coming to the finishing stages. I will come back and show you what I've done. These are the tags that they're going to go into the pockets here. I've used Marcy's Blendables here and put the tags through and printed onto the tags. This was 2 of her Blendables, and it's the one with the lady on and the one, I think they both come from the same lot of digis that you buy, but I I downsized them. They're not as big as, they're bigger than that, and I actually downsized them so they fitted onto the tag. So that tag's going to go into there like that. This one, either one could go here. I'll probably put that one in there so they're facing each other. I put eyelets and I put a bit of lace. Now I actually stitched the lace across here, but I didn't pull it. When I stitched it, I did a little running stitch, and I didn't gather it like I normally do when I do a running stitch, because I quite liked it like that there. So there's the tags. Now I have this one here, and I haven't finished this one because I thought I'd just show you what I actually did. I cut the edges there to a V, and how you do that, you actually put the two pieces of lace together, you fold it over, you get your scissors and you cut it at an angle, and that way you end up with this lovely little V at the end there. Now with I'm going to put the knot, or hopefully put the knot in the middle there, unless I pull it through somewhere along the line. But as I say, I didn't want to, if you were going to do this as a gather, what you'd do is you'd actually put your needle round there, pull it through, and then you'd gather it all together, and that looks nice. I usually do that, but with this one I just wanted to do a little running stitch along there. And it's a little bit fiddly, but for all those ladies who like fiddly and different, you'll quite like this. And then just come up and probably do a little back stitch there. And I picked a cotton that went with the colour of the tag book I've made. Now I'm going to come around the back, still holding it so I don't pull it too tight and gather it. I'm just going to do a loop to actually tie off there, and then get my scissors quite close to the knot there. And then you end up with a pretty, and again I've used the Blendables, and it matches the first tag I did there. I thought that looked nice that they're looking at each other. So there's the tags done there. We're getting there. It's nearly finished. Right, I'm going to close it up now. Now what I actually did here, I put another piece of lace there, and this is Fiddly Shirley. She wants to come in and do a little bit more to enhance the lady. Can you see all these little bits here? We all end up with pieces of lace, ribbon and everything, and there's quite a few bits, and when you cut the end off here and you're left with the V, you've got all those little bits. I never throw them away. I put them all in a little plastic like this, but not this one, but one like this, because they're all tiny, and I just have to pick out a wodge of them and throw them on the desk and you're ready to go. But what I want to do with these, can you see the rim of her hat here? And it goes round like that, but it's quite plain at the moment. And I thought what I'd like to do is just throw some of these bits on so that it emphasises the rim. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, and it doesn't matter if it dries before I get around to doing anything, but I'm just following the lines of the border of her hat there. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to throw bits of the, right, let's start there. Doesn't matter where you start. There. And it doesn't matter how you put them on, because in the end they're just going to build up and look very pretty. If it gets caught in your fingers, just use the other end of the tweezers. Can you see how it's building up nicely? And if you feel there's not enough glue on there, get your craft sheet again and throw your craft sheet on there, and you've got the glue, and that'll press more glue to the surface, so you can actually go in and put some more down. And you're just building it up so that it looks quite pretty. And it's another decorative look to the lady. Now I'm definitely running out of glue there, so just come in and do, oh, I can see that I have an area here that there's some glue at the surface, so I'll overlap it just a little bit with the other one there. Right, now what I'm going to do, and if that looks as if it's going over into her eye, just move it. It's all in the fine detail. Right, now I'm going to come and right, now this time I'm actually going to use a different glue. This is my art glitter glue here, and I'm going to use that because I don't really want to come in and, there you go. I'm such a neat freak, and sometimes I just don't like the label showing on things. So I took all my label off of the art glitter glue. I used to get glue on my fingers and it would stick to the paper, so I just took it off one day. But right, now I've got more glue there. Again, just come over and lay all your tiny little pieces. I'm going to put that one there. Oh, that one jumped on it, really wanted to go there. That's good. Cool by me. Now, you don't have to put everything on there, but you can put as much or as little as you want, but I'm quite liking that. And the other, this colour, the greeny yellowy colour, gives it, there you go. Right, probably that's getting about enough now, so I'm going to flatten it with my craft sheet again, and that way it should sink it into the glue more. And there you go. Take it off very gently, because you might pull off some of the bits of lace, and you don't want to do that after all your fiddly work. Oh gosh, look. Now this doesn't usually happen when I do it. Just playing around. I never get any off on me. But that can stay there. And it will stay there once the glue dries. You only need a little piece really to keep it there. I'm happy with that, but I might put a tiny bit more of a lace here. And I'll use this one because I only want blobs. I'm going to put there. And don't forget the glue dries clear, so you're not going to see it. There you go. Right, so that's her hat. How pretty does that look? There you go. All finished now. I've added a few more little details for her hat here. I just put a little pearl button there. It's not a button, it's a little bead type thing. And inside I've added some more little cutouts from Marcy's Digis, and here I've added another couple of cutouts as well, and the die cut is a Tim Holtz die. So that's about it now. It's all finished. The back as usual, just the nothing on there, just the picture, but there's all the tags. And there's the front. Now that's that one finished. I really love how these two turned out. They were so nice, so I can see me making some more of those. I have this one as well that I'm going to finish off. Since I've started it, I might as well finish it. But hope you like that video, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.